What's the best way to respond when someone cuts you off? What's the right thing to do when someone takes your parking spot? How should you deal with a coworker who always gets in your way? If you're like anyone else, these situations fill you with rage, frustration, and a strong desire to lash out. But what if instead of getting angry, you took a different approach? In this video, we'll be looking at how Stoic philosophy can help us better manage our anger and frustration, even in the most infuriating situations. The first step to managing anger, according to Stoicism, is to recognize that it's always optional. As Epictetus puts it, we choose to be angry. We get angry because we choose to interpret the things that happen to us through the lens of our beliefs. Let's take the example of a coworker who always gets in your way. You might choose to believe that he is deliberately trying to annoy you, or that he is just being lazy. Your belief about what's happening determines whether or not you're going to get angry. If you choose to see it as deliberate malicious behavior, you're more likely to get angry. If you see it as an opportunity for you to practice patience and understanding, you're less likely to get worked up. This is why the Stoics say that anger is a choice, because we have the power to choose how we think about what happens to us. And it's in our power to refuse to get angry. Now, you may be thinking, this is all well and good, but sometimes things really piss us off and it feels impossible not to get angry. And you'd be right. It is difficult to control our anger, especially when we feel like someone has wronged us. But as Seneca says, we aren't disturbed by things, but by the meaning we give them. When someone cuts us off, it isn't the act itself that makes us angry, but our belief about why they did it. Maybe they're a reckless driver who doesn't care about other people. Or maybe they're driving home from the hospital after just giving birth. Our interpretation of the situation determines our response, and this means that we can always choose to respond differently. Instead of reacting with anger, we can choose to react with curiosity. Ask yourself, why did they do that? What's going on in their life that's causing them to behave this way? This simple shift in perspective can make a huge difference in how we experience anger. Instead of getting bogged down in negative emotions, we can choose to respond with understanding and compassion. And this doesn't just make us feel better, it also makes us more attractive to other people. When we show compassion towards someone who has wronged us, it disarms them and diffuses the situation. They're less likely to get defensive or argumentative and more likely to be receptive to our perspective. Ultimately, this leads to better relationships and a more peaceful inner life. But it's not enough to simply choose not to be angry. We also need to learn how to express our anger in a healthy way. As Marcus Aurelius says, what does it profit a man to be free of anger if he only exchanges it for sullenness? In other words, suppressing our anger doesn't work. And it can actually make things worse. It's important to find a healthy outlet for our anger, so that we can express it in a way that doesn't damage our relationships or harm others. One way to do this is to use what Seneca calls the 4 measures of anger. Before you respond to someone when you're feeling angry, take some time to consider, is this anger fitting? Is it appropriate for me to be this upset over what happened? Is it just, am I allowed to feel this way? Is it necessary? Will expressing my anger in this way actually solve anything? By asking myself these questions, I can check myself and make sure that my anger is justified. If it's not, I can let it go and move on. But if it is, then I can express my anger in a healthy way that's more likely to lead to a positive outcome. So the next time you feel anger rising within you, remember that it's always optional. You have the power to choose how you respond. So, pick wisely. Don't let anger get the best of you. Instead, use it as a catalyst for growth, understanding, and change. That was a quote from the Daily Stoic Email. I highly recommend you subscribe.